let's start with Tampa Bay, Dallas. Dak Prescott threw the ball 58 times, which I don't know. Have you ever hurt your shoulder? As someone wearing what are we calling this here?
I don't know. It's like a pitcher's shirt.
A pitcher's shirt.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, at least not a catcher's shirt. Have you ever, in your illustrious career, thrown 58 passing attempts coming off a shoulder injury?
I think I've pitched a total of like 4 innings in my life.
Oh.
In baseball.
Is that how you got the shirt?
Well, maybe. Yeah. Maybe. No, I mean, that was, and it looked from the jump like he was fluttering it, right? Like at times. I mean, Dak threw the ball. To me, the fact that Prescott was clearly a little slowed by the shoulder injury made his performance that much more impressive, right? Like the ball was on time most of the time. The ball was accurate most of the time. It was sort of one of those, when like, he would throw those out routes, right? And you're like, oh my God, that ball's floating out there. But the guy's wide open. Mm-hmm. So it's like he's making the right reads, making the right throws. And even the throw that he had intercepted, the ball like was his best throw of the night was the throw over the middle of the CeeDee Lamb that he dropped and it got intercepted. So to me, the takeaway of the night, right, was Dallas should be the favorite in the NFC East, right? Like
that's your takeaway of the evening.
What did
more hatred for Ryan Fitzpatrick? I think that's a fair conversation. I mean, Dak Prescott before grade review, which we always do on every single play, 5 big time throws. Did have 2 turnover worthy plays, a couple of like not great throws. I mean, he should have had that interception in the red zone. Actually, I think he should have had 2. But I agree with you. It was clear, and I want to say on throws 20-plus yards downfield, he was like 1 for 5. Might have ended up being like 2 for 6 or something like that. But some of those throws further down the field where he didn't have to arc it, like you could tell it seemed as though his arm strength wasn't quite there. And I agree with you. The timing was amazing. I actually thought that the cover 2 shot he had to CeeDee Lamb that got called back for a hold on Tyron Smith on the left sideline might have been his best throw of the night, and that got called back. So there were a ton of opportunities that he took advantage of. They also, like, for all that we make of how much money they pay Zeke Elliott, because they pay him a shit ton of money, like, that was basically burning a game check. So he had 0 help.
He got help. So Amari Cooper played a fantastic game.
Amari Cooper played really good.
But
he also had there were a lot of drops out there.
Yeah, but not Cooper, right? Cooper was 13 for 139 on 16 targets and 2 touchdowns. Lamb was the one he got 15. Like I'm looking at Jesus right now, but I could look. Lamb's the one with 2 or 3 drops.
He had 2.
But even then he got like the 7 for 104, including the one where he got them into range for that last field goal. Gallup was good until he was injured. Even Dalton Schultz had the 6 for 45. Like, yeah, I mean, the Zeke thing just doesn't make sense. It's like get the guy out of here, right? Like when you look at this, so Ezekiel Elliott tonight had 11 carries and only 23 yards after contact. So you're talking about 2.1 yards per carry after contact. He only had obviously the 10 yards before contact, but still, like, no missed tackles forced for Elliott. Only one explode. Like he did have the one good run, but that's, I mean, look,
Michael
this is
Gallup
the worst
also,
contract in the NFL.
It's not good. Michael Gallup also went out with a ankle injury. Anticipation is that he will be able to return relatively quickly.
Yeah, they get a long rest here.
That's what Mario Pilato was saying. So on PFF.com, you can go check out our power rankings tool, which includes the results from our season simulations. You can see the chances of making the playoffs, winning the division, winning conference championship, Super Bowl, so on and so forth. Dallas Cowboys, the favorite to win the division, but not a majority favorite, 34%, Washington 28%, the New York Giants 24%, and the Philadelphia Eagles 14%. That's obviously before this game. Do you anticipate that to grow?
I think so, right? This is a game where I think a lot of questions were answered by Dallas, right? In the affirmative.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I agree.
A lot of questions about, look, defensively they're going to be bad, right? And we saw some speed on the field. We actually saw, I think players making plays.
Players making plays.
But this wasn't enough. They didn't get enough pressure on Brady. I mean, Trayvon Diggs got his hands on a few footballs. They got 4 turnovers. One of them was kind of end of half stuff. But this is the kind of game that Dallas played when Dak played a season ago, literally every single game. And I feel like if they play this game for this season, if you look at their schedule, they're going to win more games than they lose. I'm fairly happy. If I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, I'm a little irritated that you lose the game.
Moral victory is what you're saying.
No, but
Dallas Cowboys plus 150 to win the division on DraftKings Sportsbook.
Yeah.
Washington Football Team plus 200. Giants 4-1.
On
Eagles,
Pinnacle today, by the way.
5-1.
This is what because I was looking at that site. I tweeted this out because it was absurd. But on Pinnacle today, it had gotten to a point where Dallas was plus 146. Washington Football Team was plus 151.
Oh, wow.
Giants and Eagles both plus 540. I think the other 3 teams in the division are clear underdogs now.
The best bet of those would be the Giants
at plus
540.
540.
Okay. I see where you're coming from. And that's not my biggest takeaway. My biggest takeaway is on the Tampa Bay side. You mentioned the turnovers. So let's talk about the spread for this is an important conversation. So first off, we have talked about this game and the spread of this game for months, right?
Our early pick when it came out had a teaser leg of Tampa -0.5. That is live with all the other ones.
That's why you got to bet them early.
The one that we gave out this week was Tampa -2. The other leg of the teaser needs to hit for the teaser to push.
But that's why you want to bet it early. That's why 6.5 down to a half, would have been a nice piece. Here's the thing: if I lost the 6.5, which I did, it was the right bet, and it was the right bet because if you look at the turnovers that Tampa Bay had, they were the flukiest of the fluky. I mean, Leonard Fournette with a disaster. That screen was going to be like a 25-yard gain, and he just muffs it. It gets picked up by a Dallas defender who was actually about to get blocked out of the play. The Godwin fumble, the Ronald Jones fumble, the end of half Hail Mary doesn't end up factoring into it. All 3 others were legitimate, complete flukes. And you win the game by 2, whatever. That they should have been favored by 7.5, 8. I think that was right on the money. Those turnovers were just absolutely egregious in my opinion.
And that's why it is so hard to lay points in the NFL. That's why, so you look at our Green Line tool, we actually, the only thing that it offered was a small edge on under. I actually, with all that you just said, look, the total of the game was 52.5. It lands 60. You talk about a couple turnovers that ended up giving short fields.
Couple missed field goals.
The total, if you reran this game, the total would probably be 53, 54, probably. But it's also why when the line is 7.5, you're just not going to be backing that many favorites because there's just shit happens, right? And teams like Dallas, I'm in favor of Tampa laying that many points, and I was anyway. We had a bet on Tampa -6 from earlier in the summer, but a team like Dallas, it has the possibility of backdooring you because they are so efficient offensively. And here's a question I have for you: when you watch this game, Tampa was clearly a little off in a lot of different ways. In the secondary, they were getting kind of manhandled at times, and they got hurt. Sean Murphy-Bunting got injured. But I also think that there were flashes of what made this Tampa Bay team great, even on the defensive side of the ball. What do you think?
Yes. My takeaway, again, is that I would not let a close game where they did not cover, similar to how I would not have let that get in the way of me falling out of favor with the Chiefs last year. I would not let it dissuade me from falling, or make me go sour on the Bucs. What I saw from the Buccaneers was Tom Brady, and this was actually our favorite bet. Just got to throw it out there. If you are betting spreads the day before the game happens, may God have mercy on your soul. Please go bet props. The Tom Brady passing touchdown prop of 2.5, which cashed in the first half, was easily the best bet of the night. And I hope everyone out there got on board, got their 30% off of a PFF Elite subscription, used the props tool, and got that one through the window. But my takeaway is that Tom Brady is going to be an MVP candidate. Dude is absolutely insane, is still throwing lasers, gets it better than anyone else. Gronk can still play. Oh, and by the way, the best receiver on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is Antonio freaking Brown.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable to say that, obviously, because of his, the off the field stuff is just awful. But you're right. I mean,
Vita Vea was picking up offensive linemen and throwing them in.
And Shaq Barrett made a tremendous sack at the end of the first half to prevent a field goal that probably would have won this game. In hindsight, I thought Winfield played. The secondary looked kind of bad, but you're facing a passing offense that was amazing last year.
Amari Cooper, amazing route runner. CeeDee Lamb, when he is fantastic. By the way, Dak Prescott loves those two guys. 30 targets between the two of them. Yeah. We talked about Michael Gallup going out. It's not an easy, and we know coverage, is unstable from season to season. I wouldn't be super worried about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The way that Brady looked, those receivers, good luck. Good luck with that. Anything else from this game that we need to talk about? A lot of field goals kicked by our main man.
Look, McCarthy made some mistakes kicking field goals when he shouldn't have. And they probably gave the ball to Zeke too much. But I will say they threw the ball a lot.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. And they threw the ball, but they threw the ball a lot in. They were
down the whole game.
No, they weren't. They weren't down the whole game. They were in sort of neutral situation
They were an underdog the entire game.
Sure, okay, but yeah, okay, but again, they threw the ball. They were a pass-heavy offense, which I think is a sign of progress, even if it's not perfect progress that we want to see sort of everything done.
No, but here's the problem: they lost the game. So you know what the narrative is coming out of this?
We didn't
establish the run.
I think they're smarter than that. I will.
Oh, you do?
I'm looking forward to be proven wrong, though.
Here's the bet. Tomorrow morning, I am going to log on to the internet, and I'm going to find you. I'll tell you this. On Get Up, if you watch Get Up in the morning, turn on ESPN, I'm going to guarantee that one of the analysts in the first round of conversation about the Dallas Cowboys blames it on the run game. Run game needs to get themselves back.
Yeah, I don't think that Dallas is going to care, though. I hope.
How much are they paying Zeke?
By
the way, matchup of 4th overall running backs, Leonard Fournette and Zeke Elliott. As you can tell, it's very worthwhile.